So with the release of Vesper's Host, contest mode has been beaten, Icebreaker is now in our hands, and even more so, Icebreaker with its exotic catalyst. Now let me just say, getting this catalyst was quite the grind. It required a ton of secrets, a commitment to doing the dungeon multiple times, to interact with each of the chests, and if you're looking to get the exotic catalyst for yourself, guys, we have an entire guide on how to do Vesper's Host, how to get Icebreaker, and how to get its catalyst, amongst a number of other things. Now let me just say, Icebreaker is exactly how you'll remember it. From the scope, the gun model, its sound effects. It's kind of crazy that we're shooting Icebreaker in Destiny 2. It's taken years to get this gun back. And more so than that, this was such an iconic weapon that it almost feels odd that it was never a part of Destiny 2 to begin with. But that's because its functionality has changed. Bungie had to make these changes to this weapon because originally it broke things in Destiny 1. So to start things right away, let's look at the weapon itself. It has the perk No Backup, which reads that final blows or assists with any other weapon or ability has a chance to create ammo for Icebreaker. Defeating powerful combatants will create multiple rounds. Now, Icebreaker also has the exotic trait Icebreaker that states defeating a target with this weapon causes them to explode. Precision final blows or shattering a frozen target instead triggers an ignition. So first, taking a look at its main intrinsic, this causes a couple things to happen for Icebreaker. The big one is that this weapon has no reserves and instead has a 10-round magazine that gets auto-loaded whenever you find or generate ammo. So you'll actually never see a reload animation for this gun. And before you ask, no, reserve mods do not work, as we confirmed the other day. Again, keep in mind, its Destiny 1's functionality was that it would generate ammo over time. That's not the case here. Looking at that again, it says that final blows or assists with any other weapon or ability have a chance to create ammo for Icebreaker. Now, the first thing to note is how easy this is done. With 2 kills from any of your other weapons or abilities, Icebreaker will generate 1 ammo to the magazine. I know it says a chance, but it's very clearly a 2-kill requirement. And you might think that proccing this perk requires the kills to be within quick succession of each other, but that's just not the case. You could get a single kill, wait half an hour, and when that second kill comes, you will get an instant +1 ammo. And this of course applies inside of PvP as well. But inside of PvE, 2 kills is such an easy task. When you use this weapon, you'll find that as you toss a grenade, or you melee things, or you use your heavy, or your primary weapon, or any other weapon, pop your supers, essentially anything that can net you a kill with any other source of damage outside of Icebreaker will net you ammo for your Icebreaker. Which means for the most part, you're going to be sitting pretty well with 10 rounds, which is going to make you want to use Icebreaker almost like a primary weapon. Instead of you looking at that thrall rushing you and thinking, okay, I'm going to take it out with my primary, fellas, you don't have to. You could use your sniper. Trust me, you'll have enough ammo. There's even a play to be made rocking double special with Icebreaker because the ammo economy is that good, and it gets even crazier with the exotic catalyst. And we need to touch on the rest of the No Backup perk, where it mentions that defeating powerful combatants will create multiple rounds. Now this comes in the form of killing orange or yellow bar enemies. For instance, on orange bars, 1 kill equals 2 ammo, and for yellow bars, a single kill on them equals 3 ammo. And if these kills match up with your 2-kill generation, you can actually get up to 4 ammo from 1 enemy. I should also mention how assists play into this perk. Essentially, each assist counts as a kill with a different weapon, and those assists can be from damage dealt by Icebreaker, which is pretty nuts. Then to go over one last aspect of the No Backup perk, ammo bricks uniquely only grant 1 ammo to Icebreaker. Now this can be up to 2 per brick with the Solar Scavenger mod, but it's clear that everything about this gun wants us to generate the ammo for ourselves. And also, yes, this ammo generation again does work inside of PvP. 2 kills will grant Icebreaker 1 ammo, but keep in mind, assists do not. But now on to its next perk. Looking at its description again, it says that defeating a target with this weapon causes them to explode. Now, precision final blows or shattering a frozen target instead triggers an ignition. First, I'm going to look at the explosion on defeats. This is something separate from the ignition damage. It is very much like a dragonfly explosion. However, it does not have any solar synergy, but it deals an okay amount of damage. Here at Coral, you can see it doing 23,161 damage at its highest point against a red bar enemy. Now, you might be thinking, that's not very good, but keep in mind, this effect is really a consolation prize for getting a kill, but missing the headshots. It's mainly like, oh, okay, you missed the shot, you didn't land the precision hit for the ignition, or you didn't get the shatter hit against someone that was frozen. Don't worry, you're still gonna get a little something out of it. But looking at what happens with an optimal kill, here you can get an ignition going off, hitting for 36,210 damage damage against red bars. Now remember that ignitions can be built into with things like Ember of Char, Ember of Eruption, and even Facet of Ruin. And like the description stated, this also spawns from shattering frozen targets. So any frozen enemy counts, and it doesn't have to be a kill on them. Just shattering them will spawn an ignition, which actually makes this very good for dealing extra damage against bosses, against mini bosses, against champions. When you're locking down a battlefield with things like Bleak Watcher or any other stasis build, perhaps you're rocking our domain build. When you're doing that and you're just spitting out icebreaker shots, this is going to be causing those ignitions, and it's going to chain into the shatter damage of those stasis crystals. But a massive interaction that spawns from this perk is when we look at the stasis crystals. Keep in mind, in this episode, everything is focused on stasis and Revenant. These stasis crystals are literally everywhere. And just like a frozen target, icebreaker will spawn an ignition when you destroy one. Literally when you break the ice. And then there's also the catalyst that was just recently discovered by the community, but one we put out a guide on last night as well. And even though a lot of people think that this catalyst may not be worth it, it may not sound as flashy, but to me, guys, for the builds that I'm going to be utilizing with icebreaker, this caddy, it's honestly perfect. It gives the perk Icing Breaker, which says that landing a hit on a slowed or frozen target has a chance to return the round to the magazine. Now here Bungie uses the word chance again. It's really odd because it's literally not a chance. This perk actually only takes one shot to proc, but has an eternal cooldown of about 4 seconds. As you can see here, upon slowing Coral, we land a shot and 1 ammo gets instantly refunded. Then after 4 shots, the cooldown is done and it returns another shot to the magazine. This makes Icebreaker even better at generating ammo, since this perk can proc on a slowed champion, for example. And then once you land the final blow, it'll generate even more ammo. It doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna have infinite ammo, but the ammo economy is so good, guys. And I personally had no problems always maintaining ammo, even when rocking double special. Now the question is, what do the numbers look like? Well, here at Coral, a headshot hits for 79,796 damage, with a body shot of 22,799. Keep in mind, Whisper the Worm with Whisper Breathing crits for 93,560, which is of course higher, but Whisper is a heavy sniper rifle. Now Still Hunt's base form hits for 44,362 damage per crit. So Icebreaker actually stacks up between a normal sniper rifle shot and a heavy sniper rifle shot on a shot-to-shot basis. The biggest downside to Icebreaker is going to be its rate of fire. We're talking 49 rounds per minute. When we actually did our DPS comparison between it and Cloud Strike, Icebreaker does fall behind, which is why I don't think this is going to be a weapon you're going to utilize in DPS phases for really anything, especially raids. It's capped 10 reserves, means you don't have much in terms of total damage. Yes, the catalyst does help, giving you 1 free shot every 4 seconds. But if you draw that out on a single target, you'll notice that DPS really isn't Icebreaker's role. What Icebreaker is going to excel at is actually closer to an ad clearing sniper, which is not something we really have. Like I mentioned, the ammo generation is so free that it almost feels like a waste to not use it even on trash ads. And thankfully, Icebreaker's kit is designed to support that kind of play. Not to mention that the recent buffs that were handed out to sniper rifles, including a 60% increase to minors, a 75% increase to majors, a 35% increase to mini bosses, and a 25% increase against champions. Running and gunning, clearing ads, and spreading that AoE damage via explosions from the intrinsic on Icebreaker itself, or the ignition damage, or even just shattering stasis crystals. All of this is going to play a role in Icebreaker being that perfect ad clear sniper rifle. If you take Onslaught, for example, you've got waves of ads that are rushing you. Fellas, if you're rocking a stasis build, you can literally lock down an entire area by yourself. You can freeze everything up. You can get a single shot from Icebreaker off. It can ignite things. It could shatter the stasis crystals. And what's particularly great in this Onslaught example is how assists count here. In most in-game content, ignitions won't one-shot everything. So when you do score that ignition and your teammates clean up the affected enemies, ammo will be put straight into the mag, even if it's still out. At this point, it's almost like it does have infinite heavy. You could target a wave here, ignite and damage all of them, and then turn your focus to something else while your team effectively generates you ammo by cleaning up the survivors. And this gets even more potent by pairing it with stasis builds and stasis abilities. Even the upgraded tripwires that spawn in stasis crystals are a massive boon to Icebreaker. By shattering those with the exotic, you'll get more ignitions and more damage output. Now, outside of Onslaught, Grandmaster's run and gun content is where you're going to see Icebreaker excel at. It's going to become a prime option. This exotic and its high damage profile will make it perfect for taking out champions and literally just maining this weapon from start to finish. There's not going to be much in that minor elite department that's going to survive from this heavy hitting sniper. And for many of us, especially those of us that are wanting to tackle solo content, maybe you want to rock double special, that's a thing you could do here. I was actually doing a run with our special rocket assisted sidearm, the Call, alongside Icebreaker, and the ammo economy felt really good. Now, another thing that's actually really nice about Icebreaker is using it with a weapon that has chill clip. Now, even though leaning into a stasis build, in my opinion, is the better option, you can also just rock a chill clip weapon. You want to use Riptide, freeze an enemy with chill clip, and then turn around and land the sniper rifle shot from Icebreaker and cause the ignition, you can most definitely do that. Even more so, it's actually going to be the Iron Banner rocket assisted sidearm. Fellas, if there was ever a weapon that I'm going to use alongside Icebreaker when rocking double specials, it's probably going to be this one, and that is the Tenacious Mastery. This rocket assisted frame sidearm has chill clip. That means even at range, you're going to sit there and be applying chill clip, proc the freeze, and turn around and land the ignition with Icebreaker. Now, keep in mind, guys, generating ammo with the exotic catalyst doesn't just have to be on a frozen target. Just landing a hit on a slow target has a chance of giving you another round. So overall, guys, this sidearm, this Iron Banner sidearm, and I know some of you may not be interested in doing Iron Banner, this is truly going to be the best weapon to pair with Icebreaker, and I'm going to be farming it as soon as it drops. Now for PvP, fellas, let me just say, Icebreaker is going to be a menace. Now, I gave you one reason why many people use Icebreaker back inside of PvP in Destiny 1, and it was because it could navigate around the ammo economy back then, because it would passively regenerate ammo. Now, the ammo economy inside of PvP in Destiny 2 is not that free, but it's still very, very good. I pretty much always have ammo, and as long as I'm sprinkling in some other kills with my abilities, with my primary, ammo economy for Icebreaker here is very solid. Now, here is the second and even bigger reason why Icebreaker was used inside of Destiny 1's PvP. Be frank, guys, it was good. It has the ability to snag headshots, arguably better than any other sniper rifle in the game. And inside of Destiny 2's PvP sandbox, it's just as good. Perhaps even better. Fellas, I said this is a subjective thing, and I spent some time with it inside of PvP, and let me just say, it felt phenomenal. Not only did it feel like it did back in the day, but it felt better. With the multiple targeting mods that you can apply, with dexterity mods that you can apply, Icebreaker has never felt more fluid than it feels right now. And man, does it snag those headshots. Now, inside of Crucible, it obviously gets the kill in one crit, hitting 473 damage. It even has the ability to take out supers, depending on the resilience level of those supers. And I'm not going to go through each and every one of the supers, but yes, it could take out many of them. Now, its body shot damage is 136. And again, this is equivalent to high impact sniper rifles like Succession, which means when you land a body shot, swap into another weapon is much easier cleanup. Now, keep in mind, the ignition damage is not as powerful as, say, something like Cloud Strike. If you have targets that are standing next to each other and you land a crit on one of them, it's not going to take out the surrounding enemies. However, when you freeze enemies, when you hit them, you'll actually hit them for 149 damage to the body, and then hit the 120 ignition damage, which of course nets you a kill. So anytime you see a frozen target, guys, you can honestly just go straight for the body shots and you'll get the one-hit kill, unless of course they unfreeze. And keep in mind, with the exotic catalyst, whether the target is frozen or slowed, you'll be getting +1 ammo back. Overall, when talking about Icebreaker in PvP, it really just comes down to the feel. And I can tell you right now, guys, even though I love sniper rifles like Beloved, I believe Icebreaker is going to replace Beloved, at least in mine loadouts. And I would argue and say Icebreaker could potentially be the beginning of the sniper rifle meta for PvP. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.